So I've been playing golf again after a 2-year hiatus. I've played golf since I was 11. I took lessons when I was young. I was number one player on a golf team in high school. I mean, I played at a relative, for most amateurs, a relatively high level for a really long time. I generally score in the 70s. The thing is if you ask me to teach you how to play, I would be horrible at it because it comes so natural to me after so many years. Like, I don't really even think about anything. I set up, I'm like, okay, is my grip right, posture right, alignment right, ball position right? Okay, if all those things are right, swing away. What do you think about them? Nothing. If I'm doing well, nothing. Just hit it. That's all I'm thinking about. So it's a very like natural thing. So you think about those people that have been working in the plant for 30 years. They're like that too. Well, how do you know that machine or that process isn't being? I just do, like I do. Like you asked me, well, how'd you hit that, that draw right there, from 140 yards with a pitching wedge into that pin? I don't know. I just did it. I hit it. And so there's a challenge right now in that we have a lot of SMEs who just know how to do stuff. And it's really difficult to pull their knowledge out. And case in point, I won't give the customer away, but there was a customer of mine that was trying to do that with some of their SMEs. And he said it was like pulling teeth. He said it was like we were asking questions like in another language.
Mm-hmm.
Like they were not understanding what we were after. And he said because they had asked like, we want some dashboards that have these things on it and these kind of color codes, and they will really help us do our job. So they delivered that. And the SMEs were like really happy. Hey, this is great. And so this team went back to him and said, okay, so we delivered that. Now, what do you do with this? Like, how do you know like which processes you need to go work on and what might be wrong? Like, what are the calculations you run? What are the things you're looking for? Like, how do you know? And what do you do? And they were like, well, we just needed these dashboards. Like, what do you mean? Like, we just go do our work. But don't you like run some calculation? Like, what's your thought process? And there was a disconnect in what they were asking for and what the SMEs were saying. It's kind of like me with my golf swing. Well, Jim, do you take the club back inside? Where is it? At this point, like, I don't know. I hit the ball. I don't know. I just analyzed this process and, I fixed the issue. I've been doing it for 30 years. I don't know. And I think that's a disconnect we somehow have to fix. And I think through data, in these dashboards and stuff like that, and these calculations, like, he said, the customer's like, we just went back and regrouped. We're like, we're going to re-ask those questions in a different way that we think maybe they'll understand. And then be like, oh, okay, now I get it. Because I think you really want to appeal to their legacy, like for me, like I'm not going to try to teach someone how to play golf, like how to swing the golf club. Now, I might teach them how to hit certain shots because I do have some thought processes on those. There are certain things I'm pretty good at teaching, but I know I'm like really bad at that. And so I think, how do you get those things where you can draw out like what they know and draw out as much of that knowledge as they can versus some of it's just instinct and experience. And I think that's a real challenge, but I think, data and transmitting all that through data is a really important tool on how to do that.